Guys, my name is Kaylee Ricketts, and I've decided to discuss the uncertainty reduction theory by Charles Berger. So basically, in short, this theory is based on meeting someone for the first time. Of course, doing this normally makes us nervous, and it's probably because it's for something really important. So this theory could apply to a job interview, a blind date, maybe you're meeting with a teacher before you start a class for the first time, really any kind of new interaction. Basically, in this theory, Berger breaks down why we feel this way before we start communicating and also how we can improve this feeling to where we don't have as much anxiety. Berger has built kind of a timeline for meeting someone, and in the process, he outlines how this meeting will go and how the communicators can help it go through more smoothly. So let's dive into this theory because I think it's super helpful and I think it will really benefit us, especially as we start building our careers. So Berger starts off his theory by stating that he thinks it's completely natural to feel this anxiety before you meet someone. So you feel this pit start to form in your stomach, maybe your palms are sweaty. Obviously you're pretty nervous, but he says this is completely normal. He goes into detail with 3 reasons why we might feel this way. The first being that we know that we will probably see this person again, so obviously we want to make a good impression and we want them to like us. Second is the incentive value. So basically they have something we want, for example, a job or a good grade. And lastly is deviance. So we are afraid this person is going to be weird and uncomfortable and we really won't click with them because they're too different from us. So far, all of this makes sense. I mean, when I go to meet someone, typically these thoughts pop into my head, but also we have some other thoughts too. These questions will be the following. We might focus on our behavior for one. So when this person comes into the room, do I get up and shake his hand? Do I call him by his first or last name? What do I do? Berger says these thoughts are normal too because obviously we want to be on our best behavior. We might also have some cognitive questions pop into our head. So basically, who is this person? What does she like to do? What is the ideal employee to her? What makes her unique? Obviously, you ask these questions because you want to mold yourself to fit her standards. So all of these thoughts are completely normal and they are kind of why this theory exists. So the next part of this theory is based on how we can create certainty about uncertainty. Berger says that there are 8 key relationship variables that help us feel a little bit more comfortable in this new environment. The first of these is verbal communication. Obviously, the more that we talk to the person, the more comfortable we get with them and the less social anxiety we have. Nonverbal warmth, which is the second variable, works in the same way. Third, we have information seeking, and this one is kind of opposite from our first 2. The more uncertainty we have about a new person, the more questions we will have about them. So if you're completely comfortable with this person at the end of the meeting, you're probably not going to walk out thinking, am I going to get the job or did they like me? You'll feel more confident with yourself. Fourth, we have self-disclosure, which boils down to more intimacy we have in the meeting, the less uncertainty and anxiety we will have. Next, we have similarity, which means the more we have in common with this person, the less anxiety we are going to feel. If you and this person have a lot alike, then obviously you're going to feel more comfortable. After similarity, we have liking. So basically, when we like this person more, we have less uncertainty because we're more comfortable. But if you don't like this person, then you will have more uncertainty. And lastly, we have shared networks, which kind of falls along the same lines as similarities. If you have these mutual friends, you will probably have more things in common, therefore you will have less uncertainty. So Berger pretty much lays out how we can build our certainty up and how we can make the situation more comfortable for ourselves. Going back to how we might be meeting for a specific reason, Berger believes that most social interactions are goal-driven. We have 4 reasons for meeting, and these fall under different categories. The first being seeking information, the next choosing plain complexity, then hedging, and the hierarchy hypothesis. So first of all, let's talk about seeking information. You can gather information different ways. One of these ways is the passive strategy, which means that you just wait for the new person to tell you the information. You can also choose an active strategy, which is where you ask a third party for information, or interactively, which is where you ask this new person face to face. And lastly, we have the extractive strategy, which is pretty much where you Google the question or research it on your own. All of these strategies are different ways we can find out information, which we know, and the more information we have, the better we feel about the situation. Next is plain complexity, which is the schedule of how you want your meeting to go. Are you going to walk into the interview completely wing it, or are you going to talk about your past experiences in the order of your resume? According to Berger, the more organized and planned you are, the less uncertainty you'll have walking in. Next, we have hedging, which is kind of where you use humor to avoid that awkwardness. So maybe you said something really stupid and you kind of begin to panic, so then you say, just kidding, or something else kind of stupid, hoping that it will be funny and you can cover up your flaw. Lastly, we have the hierarchy hypothesis. So your hierarchy hypothesis comes in handy when the new person you're talking to doesn't quite understand what you're saying. Maybe you use some jargon from your last job and this person doesn't know what it means, so you'll have to reward your phrase or define what you mean. So hierarchy hypothesis is taking a different approach when the first one doesn't work. See, having this uncertainty is kind of avoidable at first, and Berger says this is completely normal to feel this anxiety. But you don't have to worry because it is all laid out in these different approaches for making it better and smoother and more comfortable. I think Berger took a really good approach against this feeling that we all experience, and I like how it's tangible and how you can experiment with it and really test it out. So I encourage you all to look up more information about the uncertainty reduction theory because obviously this is very condensed version, but hopefully it was helpful and you can think back to this theory the next time you are going to a job interview or a first date or something of that nature. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. Berger took a really good approach against this feeling that we all experience, and I like how it's tangible and how you can experiment with it and really test it out. So I encourage you all to look up more information about the uncertainty reduction theory because obviously this is very condensed version, but hopefully it was helpful and you can think back to this theory the next time you are going to a job interview or a first date or something of that nature. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.